So one thing I do a lot is I come up with these ideas usually when I'm working out or driving or I have to have my phone with me. If I'm jogging, I just try to remember them. But a lot of times I write myself emails about what I'm thinking. And I went through the whole miracles and angels thing, but I just looked at an email that I wrote to myself about evolve or peace. And one of the things that I wrote is if you think, like a lot of people believe, if you watch Vanilla Sky, I think I might have said that before, that your life, like in Life Between Lives, you write out your movie, right? And then you write out the events. And if you look at a movie, a real movie, a movie, from a movie perspective, it's never like a straight across, nothing ever goes wrong thing. There's usually, a beginning point, then it goes up, maybe it goes down, maybe, it has a happy ending, it has a bad ending, whatever. But the point is, it's never just perfect and like Disney-like. Even in Disney movies, you watch Disney movies, a lot of bad things happen in Disney movies. You know what I mean? So why would your life be any different than that? And if you think about it, because if you can't get to this accepting of your choice stuff or circumstance, like why would you choose a life where all the events are just perfect? You'd get so bored. It's like there's a great part, I think it's in Conversations with God, where he talks about if you always win, you'll never experience what it means to win. And I used to play in this flag football, and finally all the leagues around here ended, so we had to go to Secaucus to play, and we would beat people like 50-0, and it was so boring. It wasn't fun to win when you're winning 50-0 and there's no challenge. So, you know what? That's cute. Maybe acceptance of your challenge. I can't spell challenge, but whatever. Challenge, maybe. I don't know, but accept that it's a challenge. I don't really like that because whatever, I think that's really, get away from it. I think I really would like everybody to see this because you don't have to believe it, and if not, it's your circumstance. But anyway, so I thought I had found an acronym for evolve, but just keep in mind when you're getting to this part that you accept that you put an event in your life, it's like a movie. Why would you choose just a boring event? Nobody would watch the movie. If there's no drama in the movie, nobody would watch it. It would be boring. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let me see if I can find another email. Oh, okay. In this email, I also, one of the concepts I'd like people to start to understand is I have this thing called SOS, which I don't even think I don't know if it stands for Save Our Ship or whatever. Google it, but, or Save Our Souls or whatever. But to me, it's an SOS. And the SOS is like something, let's just say something bad is happening in your life and you're going down the same road you're always going down and you'd like to change that. It's just like stop. Well, anyway, so I have a million SOSs, but the idea is that in your mind, choose an SOS, and I'll kind of like start to put them on, I'll try to start putting the list of my SOSs out so you can choose one, but it's like stop. Maybe like, for example, one can be stop. Just stop. Observe, right? Observe. So observe what's happening, evaluate what's happening, right? And then you could start again, let's just say. Or maybe you want to shift. You don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. So maybe shift to something different. But the bottom line is, the point is that when you start, I don't really have a program, but when you're starting on this journey, it's very informal. You do whatever you want. But I like to choose an SOS because there were times in my life where I really wanted to cycle, like we talked about in the thing. I really wanted to stop the cycle. So if you're going to stop the cycle, one thing I want to show you about the cycle too. So say this is spinning, like this, like this, okay? I noticed that if you're spinning like this, if you want to stop something that's spinning, you'll notice a lot of times you can't stop it. You can't let it keep its same force as it's coming around that top curve because it's just going to keep the same momentum and going. When you actually want to stop something, you have to stop it, and it really depends on how fast it's swinging. Somewhere over here, you have to slow it down. And when you slow it down, like maybe up here, right, if you can imagine if this was a circle, then maybe it still has a little momentum to go this way, and then when it drops, it loses its momentum, it'll go to here, and then maybe it'll swing, and then maybe it'll eventually stop. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm trying to think if it works when you're trying to win those spins in Vegas or wherever, and it's like it's coming around, it's just about to hit the million, and it stops, right? Or it has so much momentum it passes the million. I guarantee you they weight those things. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they weight them because I guess whatever. That's why I don't like slots because I don't trust them. But anyway, if you try to stop it up here, it's just going to keep swinging. Try to stop it somewhere along this line, and then the momentum will slow down. Just keep that in mind. You don't have to know exactly what that means. Just keep that in mind. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there. So you pick an SOS. Maybe when you're going through something that's really bad, just stop for a second. You're just going down that rabbit hole. Just stop. Observe what's going on. And, maybe then start again or shift yourself and start again. But I have a million SOSs, so I'll try to put them, whatever. Observe, maybe select a different time, select something different and then maybe go again. Okay. I just wrote one down here. It's like when you want to start. Okay, again, maybe you can lead into this one, then operate, and then yourself. So who you really are. Like, who do you really choose to be at the moment? Okay, I was just looking through the emails and I saw another one I had written for peace recently. So I do it a lot that I come up with different acronyms, to go deeper or to build on them. But I saw one acronym I had just written. It's person valuation, accountability, causes, evolution. Okay, so in other words, when you take responsibility of your life, things that are happening in your life, your choices, whatever, you will evolve. I just think you will, or it'll help you evolve. Okay, so let's see if I can come up with one for evolve just quickly. Okay, so I'm going to quickly try to come up because I feel like it really should connect it to evolve. So we're going to try some concepts. Okay, so first of all, ego. And I promise I'm going to get into the ego, but I have to build to get to the ego. But the ego, now I have this thing called the 4 V's, okay? And they're vibrations, okay? So in a drama, or let's just take a movie, there's usually, hopefully I can remember, a villain, a victim, a victorious person, and the virtuous person. Okay, so usually there's a virtuous person who's the good, the victim who's the one who's being victimized, virtuous victim, the villain, the one who's doing the bad thing, and the victorious one, the one who wins. Okay, so let's just say, I'm sure there may be more, but right now those are the only 4 I've made up, and everybody has a certain vibration. There are people who have a victim vibration. There's people who have virtuous vibrations. There are people who have victorious vibrations. They're just winners. There are people who are what was the other one? It was victim. Here, let me write them down. It's victim, the victim mentality, the virtuous, the victorious, and the villain. Okay, so usually people vibrate at those different levels. Just keep it simple. So evolve. It's the ego vibration. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with any of those vibrations. If you want to feel virtuous, there has to be a villain. Otherwise, you can't feel virtuous. Okay, so and if there's going to be somebody who's going to victorious, virtuous, or villain, somebody's going to help somebody victorious. Let's just say there has to be a victim. So there has to be a villain if you're going to be victorious. So all these things kind of create the energy vibration of experiences in life, okay? When you have events. So the 4 egos, you're one of them, let's just say. Now, when you're over them, okay? So say you're over it, okay? Because now you've been the victim, or you've been the villain, or, even the virtuous, or you're sick of being the virtuous one, or the victorious one. You want to lose once in a while. When you're over that, to get over that, to evolve, first you love. Okay, so love it. Love that who you are. You gotta love who you are if you're gonna evolve. A lot of times, I truly believe you don't really evolve from something by not accepting it, embracing it, loving it. Now, let me get, this is how this all starts to connect. I'm gonna give you my acronym for love. Okay? Let me just take this out. case I need more room. Okay, so when I say love, most people, their idea of love and my idea of love is different. Now, if you read Conversations with God, it was very simple. Love equals freedom. That's it. So he says that's all you need to know. That's what love is, equals freedom. So, love to me, okay? Oh, let's do love, right? Okay, so love is let one and that means you, or other means other people or others, however you want to do, vibrate and express. In other words, when you love somebody, or whatever, let's just say somebody, when you love somebody, you let them be who they are. You let them vibrate at wherever they are at the moment, and you don't stop them. That's love. This is why in the consciousness of the societies of today, you cannot love everyone. Now, first of all, 99.99% of the people don't love themselves. That's first of all. That's what I've noticed. Okay? They don't accept who they are. They don't just vibrate and express, and they don't, their mentality is not really freedom for who they are, how they react, and so on and so forth. So most people have a problem loving themselves. How on God's green earth do you expect people who don't even love themselves to love other people? So even if it is a goal, and remember, let's go back to the vibration or from David Hawkins. You have love, I hate to say, is on the bottom. Okay? So there are people that are like below that, but love, then I believe it's joy, then peace, P-E-A-C-E, and then enlightenment. Okay? Whatever, I'm not going to spell it out. So if these are the vibration things, and love is somewhere like, well, it's below peace. Like I started to say, so 99.9% of the people don't even love themselves. So I'm not exactly sure how the way the world vibrates today, that a goal, or you have to love everybody. No, you don't. Because loving somebody means you let them be who they want to be. And when people are doing, I don't like to use examples of this because I don't like to go down those roads. But I was telling somebody on the boat today, I said, let's just say, God forbid, you should in the street see somebody abusing a child. Well, let's pick a dog. Well, let's pick a child. I'm going to make it a little extreme. And the person's beating this child. Love, in my definition of love, in the conversation of love, the Conversations with God guide, love is freedom. You would let the person do what they want to do. Now, he has an idea for if it's a child and the child runs into the street and you stop the child because ultimately the child does not want to get hit by a car. Okay, fine. But let's just say somebody's hitting a child. You could walk away and let the person vibrate and do whatever they want to do, or you could try to stop them. Okay? And how, whichever way you want to go. I'm not saying one is right or one is wrong. So if you just accept for the moment my definition of love, and if somebody can come up with another one, they want to email me, that's fine. But let's just assume for now we accept this and loving. And listen, the way I got to this is there are certain people, very few, very, very, very few people, I have to tell you, that I have love in my life. That really, no matter what they do, I really don't care. I don't care what they do. Now, when I say I don't care what somebody does, that does not mean I don't care about them. It just means I don't care what you do. You want to do that, do it. I don't care. I'm not going to, if I don't agree with it, it doesn't agree with me, like onions. Onions don't agree with some people. Don't eat them. So if somebody you love is doing something that you don't agree with, just don't be there. Don't ingest it. Don't be a part of it, right? You walk away. And he says in Conversations with God, you put the boundary on yourself, not on the other person. That's love. And this is why it's not about loving everybody in the world. Respecting is a different story. That's what it is. And I'll do another video on love and respect. But the point I want to try to make is love yourself. If you want to love everybody, that everybody should love everybody in the world, that's great. Why don't we start with loving ourselves. So in evolving, very important that you recognize the ego that you are at the moment. It's fine. And sometimes you could switch back and forth. I could talk about that in another book. Like sometimes you're a victim in a situation, sometimes you're victorious, sometimes you're the villain, sometimes you're all that. So it's not that you're always that. Some people have an underlying, vibration, but keep it simple. Just accept of your underlying vibration, your underlying ego. And when you don't, you're over it. You just don't choose to be anymore. And over it is not bad. It just means that, you're eating and you're full and you're done. You're over it. You don't want to eat that anymore, right? The first part of evolving to something is where we get to love. Okay, so that you let that ego and that vibration play itself out, right? Your ego is one of the 4 vibrations. When you're over it, when you're ready to evolve past it, love it, okay? And when you get to the point where you love yourself, you really accept who you are, and you let yourself vibrate and express and be who you are, it really is, you love vivaciously. And I actually had to look it up. It came to my head the other day when I was writing an acronym, maybe it was this one, and I thought to myself, I never use that word. Why the heck is vivaciously coming into my head? But when you look it up, vivaciously or vivacious is to live lively and animated, and vivacious, the origin is Latin, I'm not going to pronounce it, but it's to live. So really live your vibration, let it out. And when you do love vivaciously, it's going to have an emotional effect, or the effect is emotional. Now, an effect versus effect is something that has come about from something, right? Let's look up effect just so we can be clear on that. We always do this. Effect meaning a change that is a result or consequence of an action or a cause. So your action your action of loving yourself vivaciously, or just even loving yourself, I had to put something in there for the V, the effect is being emotional. Okay? Now, this is how it all works. Peace led into evolve, which led into love, which, let me tell you my acronym for emotional. Eventually, a very key point in my book is feeling versus emotions. There's a very big difference between feelings and emotions, or maybe a subtle difference, but the difference is a big key. So, and there's a difference. A lot of people interchange them, but they can't. Just like they interchange love with need. Most of the time when people say they love somebody, it's really that they need the person, right? So, but how come you can hurt somebody's feelings, but you can't hurt their emotions? So there's a big difference. And I'll get to do another video about what feelings is, because that is such a key point to evolving, understanding why our vibration is low and what we can do about it. And it all really comes down to feelings. But I'll give you a very short, quick idea. A feeling is just an emotion that came up very naturally that was suppressed. Okay, let's just put that out. So when you're being emotional, you're letting that emotion, that feeling that was buried, that emotion, allowing love. Let's just say it's that. So in other words, you're allowing the freedom of that emotion that was stuck in you. So when you're being emotional, it's really that feeling that's stuck in you is being allowed to be free. Okay, and you're finally releasing that buried feeling, that emotion again that came up natural, and I'll get into more detail about a feeling, what it is, but that buried emotion, okay, which is a feeling, it's now being allowed to be free and express itself, okay? So that's the effect. So when you evolve, the bottom line then, what it really comes down to is when you evolve, you allow your ego, you allow your energy at the moment, your vibration at the moment, when you're over it, you really just let all these feelings come out of you. Peace, my very basic idea of peace is personal. Anytime anything is happening in your life, personal evaluation, acceptance of your choices, you'll evolve. Just do this when something's happening in your life. Evaluate yourself. Ask yourself, if I were to choose this, why in the world am I choosing this? What is it bringing to me? What is it helping me understand? And if you do that, you'll evolve. Okay, so that is the peace acronym. So please subscribe to my website channel, peacewithme.com, and every time I do a new video, I will send it to you.